guys, we are the Shoner cast, and today we're going to interview teacher Pedro.
Hello guys.
Can you say a little bit of you to us?
Okay, hello people, hello my sons. So my name is Pedro Henrique. I have 25 years old, and I cannot say that I'm a little Brazilian, I'm a little French, and a little from Paraguay also. So that's a lot of things I am, and I am history teacher here. I give class of history, technology, and life project is here in the school.
Okay, that's really cool. You talk about your French, right?
Yes.
Have you visited that before?
A lot of times. A lot of times because I lived a little time in France. I have family in France, so when my grandmother was alive, all of the years I go to France to visit my grandmother. When she died, how can I say? We don't have much time to go on other times in France. So the last time I go to France was, I think, in 2019. I was alone. Donc this was the last time I was going to France. Okay.
Well, you can tell about a little bit of your visit to us.
Oh, sure. So all of the times we go to Paris, we stay like 1 week in Paris. We go to all of the place in Paris. So the Champs-Élysées, the Eiffel Tower, so the Palace of Louvre, the place like that. We stay 1 week, and after that we go to the north of the France, and the one region that we call the Nord, the Schnorr and Sti. We stay with my family, like my uncle, my cousins, my grandmother, not anymore. And after that, we return here in Brazil. So we stayed, me, my mother, my father, like 2 or 3 weeks in a year. So it's. There's so much place. There's a lot of things to do in France. There are a lot of things to eat. There are a lot of things to drink. There are a lot of culture there in France. The only thing I don't like is the French people. Their people sucks. I don't like that at all. The Brazilian people are so much better. They're so much nice here. So that's the only thing I don't like is the French.
Are the French people annoying?
Yes, a lot. A lot. They're not. No, I don't think there's a noise. I give an example. You can demand something. For example, where is the Eiffel Tower? If they see you and they don't like you, they will not answer at all. So you don't have help. You don't have anything they can give to you because they don't like you. They see you and they will say, "I don't like you. I will give anything for you."
Are they racist or not?
Some people are racist, of course. Here in Brazil, there's the same thing. There are a lot of people that are racist in Brazil, but in France, I think for me, the problem of racism is a lot bigger because there's a lot of African immigration for old French colonies that are going now in France. So now the immigration for the African people now is a problem for the racist people. And we can see this in the national soccer team, the national football team of France, because now we can say that all the players are black. The good players are black. So the racist people see the great national team that won 2 times the World Cup, and then see we don't like them because they have African ascendants. They came from Algeria, they came from Mali, they came from Egypt, all the ancient French colonies. So we have a great problem there of immigration and racism at all. So for that, I like much more the Brazilian people than the French people. Because here in Brazil, for me, the Brazilian people don't have the same struggles. They don't have the same races. They don't have the same problems that in France.
I didn't know about that because in the future I really want to go to French sometime.
Yes,
That's really nice to know.
yes. So for me, you need to go to France, but you can go with your family. You can go with your parents. You with your friends. That's okay. But if you want to go alone, I think there's a little problem you can have.
I'm not going alone.
But for example, I will give my example when I was going when I gone in 2019. When I was alone, a lot of people ask if I was really French. If I was, are you sure that you are French? And I say, yes, I speak French. I have my passport for France. This is real. Why are you asking me? A lot of this, because you look Colombian, for example. You look for Iraq. A lot of people are saying to me that I look like Iraq for people for Iraq, for Colombia, for Canada, because of my accent. So I have this problem. And that was not one time, that was not 2 times, like 5, 6 times. So I didn't like that. I have a different people talk me another with a different meanings, and I see with myself there's a little of racism with me, little or a lot of racism with me. So for that, my only advice I can give to you, because you want to go to France, go with your friends, go with your family, because you will speak in Portuguese with the people. You will see a lot of good places, a lot of good food, a lot of good drink. But if you go alone, there's a different story. Okay.
How does it smell French?
Like the same here, I think. But if you go, you can see one difference. If you go, like, I don't know the term in English for metro. I think this is the same. Yes, thank you, the subway. If you go to the subway, you can see like something of pea smell of pea. A little, you can see, you can sense that. Here in Brazil, for example, in São Paulo, I go a lot of times in the subway here in São Paulo. It is a lot more clean than in Paris. In Paris, a lot bigger, but you can see the smell of pee. is something, yeah. And another places, like you are walking in Paris, you can see also the smell of pee.
Oh my god, that's so disgusting.
Yes, a lot of disgusting. You can see. I don't know when and where. No, when I see was in Paris. Where? I think in 2020 they passed a law that the man can pee in, how can I say, different bathrooms, like something you can see the man peeing, so you can see like the penis, you can see that, but you can see the people peeing in the trees. So it's like a different type of bathroom. So that's something that now is more common, so you can smell the pee in the city.
That's really weird.
That's really weird. And another example, in 2019, I visit my uncle. It was summer, so in July I go to France. All the days I take my shower. All the days. My uncle is like 3 times per week, and he see me take my shower, and he see me like this. Are you really taking the shower now? Why?
Like again?
Why again? Why you're doing that? I see like, why not? I like take my shower. Yeah. It's normal thing, and so you can see the people, and that's not something just in France. I think it's a European thing. You can see that the how can I say, the treating they have with cleaning is a lot different we have here in Brazil.
It is connected with the history backup.
I think so. Because the place is a lot more cold. There's much more cold that here in Brazil, and we have here like a native Brazilian culture also for the native people here. The native people here, like the Indians, we can say here, they have a cleaning manifest. There's a much more, they clean much more than the European people. I think we can see that also. And like here in Brazil is a lot more hotter here also. So it's natural that we take more showers. But now in France, because it's more cold, they don't take showers at all. But now with global warming, the planet is getting more hotter. Like we can have the temperatures like in Paris, like 45 degrees Celsius, okay? And the people don't take the showers. So you can see what can happen there in the summer. You can see that.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a difficult thing. I have some experience that are not good at all. Like I was traveling in Europe, and there's some girl like 17 years old. They smell like really bad. The girls like you two here. They smell really bad. And I travel like 4 hours in the airplane next to her. So it's 4 hours of bad smelling in my sight.
I hope when I go to French, I don't get that dirty people beside me, like for you.
No, yes. It's for that. My advice is go with the people you know for here, because you will stay together and you can do all the things you want, and you will not have problems at all. Okay, so it's my advice.
That seems a good advice. And like we were talking about history, and I have a question for you. Why did you become a history teacher?
When I studied, you can see my father. He's an engineer, but the first job he wants to become was history teacher in France in 1965. It was the first job he wants to become. So when I started to grow up, I always like history in my school. There's something I can see, all the good things, all the tragic things you can have in history, how you can see all the problems here in Brazil, for example. You can see there is a history narrative. You can bring the beginning of the problem. You can see in the history. So for me, it's such a beautiful world. And when I entered the college, no, it's not the college, the university, yes. When I entered the university, when I start my, I don't know how can I say the word estágios in English, but when I think so, I don't know, but when I start to go to the school for seeing the teacher teaching the students, I can see that, oh my God, I need to do this. And I start to work like a full teacher. How can I say? Forget my bad English. Ano passado, last year. Yes, thank you. I start to teach last year. Like for example, you two here. So when I start to teaching here, I can see now this is my job. I can see this is my job. It's a full thing. I need to do this all of my years. I need to do this. There's something that's good to me. It's good for me. Seeing the students like history, like going to study, going to see new things, going to do the text, and they do really well. There's something really I appreciate a lot of this. So for me,
did you really start teaching last year?
Yes.
For you?
For real.
You were the best history teacher this school ever had.
Serious, nossa. Quase mandei sério. Serious?
I'm kidding.
That's so good to see. That's cool. That's so good to.
Last year, we loved you. We really miss you. Like for real.
Yeah.
People.
I didn't like history. until last year. But when you start to, like explain about Hitler and all of these things, I was like, oh my god, that's really cool.
And there's so much bad things in history. That's a lot of tragic, a lot of, oh my god, why they do this? And you can see the origin of the problems, and you can connect all of the things, and it can become here how the Brazilian society works. There's a narrative, historical narrative, and you can see a lot of things. So it's so cool to see, to teach this. It's so cool for this, and for example, you, my students, you can see how the history works, and you can see how my life works. Why I lived here in Jundiaí, why I speak Portuguese, why I have this skin, this color of the skin, why I have these characteristics, and a lot of things you can see in history. So for me, that's something my dad always talked to me. I was seeing this in my school. So for me, for that, when I entered the SISU, for entering the federal universities, I chose, no, I need to do history. I need to become a professor of history.
Well, thank you for teaching history. Man,
That's so nice. That's so nice to see. That's really so nice to see.
I really miss you. For real. Please teach me.
I really miss you also. I have now I give class in the 9 year. I don't know how I can speak this in English. 9 year. That is. Then and I can see this and I see this and I speak. Oh my god, I really miss my old students. Sometimes I need really my old students. But it's okay, we can see now here in the school and sometimes in this school.
That's nice.
And how do you feel being too young and being a good teacher, and we all love you?
For me, it's really cool. I think for my person, like I can speak that I'm really glad I'm doing a good job. I have you can speak to me that you are doing really good history class. That's so nice to me. But for me, that's something all the teachers need to do. If the teaching is something so serious, you can't imagine that's so serious our job of teacher is. Because we are preparing, oh my god, my Paulista accent, we are preparing a lot of students to become good people, and that's something all the teachers need to address. That all of the students have to have respect, responsibility, need to do the right things, and that's something all the teachers need to do. All the teachers need to have a really good job, a really good doing the best for all the students. I think so. Because why we are teaching? That's the objective. We need to do this. We're preparing people for the Brazilian society, and we need to make good Brazilian civilians. We need to do this. This is the job. The first, the second, and the third job of the school. We're not preparing you. For example, I need to become a medicine. I need to become an engineer. Yes. That's something important, but the first thing you need to do is have respect, have responsibility, and know your rights, your civilian things. You need to become a good people, a good Brazilian citizen. Okay, because of that, that's something I all of the days I think I need to make a good job, because I'm doing. How can I say? You are not robots. You are not computers. You are not like money. You are people. And you need to become good people. People I studied this. That's something I think you are. How can I say this? Can I speak in português? Ali? Eu tenho certeza que vocês vão virar boas pessoas, gente. Tenho certeza absoluta. There's a sure thing. I think all of the days my students will become good people, will think a lot of good things here in Brazil, here in Jundiaí. Okay.
Yeah, like in here in the school, there are a lot of boring teachers,
But
they just write down the things and you need to copy, and that's just so boring. They don't say anything to us. Like you last year, you stand up there and say louder so we can understand everything of the history, and that's really really nice of you.
But I think that's something for me that I'm a teacher. I think that's something that I think none of the teachers want to become like this. Why they become like this? Because here in the school they don't give the instructor they want. And like for little things, I don't have internet here. How can how can I make a good job here if I don't have internet, if I don't have a good structure here in the school? For example, oh my God, I forget a lot of English words. Hoje, gente. Sorry. Today, thank you. Today, there was no rice here. There was no rice for the students. For me, for the teachers, there was no rice. So I was going to lunch, and there's no rice. Like there's something you can't imagine. How can't have rice here? So there's something that's unacceptable here in the school. So the teacher become like this, boring, because I don't have good payment. I don't have infrastructure. I have some guys, they give you a lot of trouble with me. You can see this, the bad students, they give a lot of trouble. And there's not like small troubles. There's like big trouble sometimes.
Yes, yes.
For example, yesterday there one student of mine in the 9th year, they see a lot. I don't know I think the word is bad words in English, palavrões for me.
Yes.
They give to me, so I can see.
Why? Why did you?
Because I just say you need to see my class. If you want to sleep, you need to stay home. Just for that. And then what was the answer? Palavrão. Bad word.
Did you do anything to him?
He take a suspension for I don't know how much time. I think
He deserved it.
Yeah, really, he deserves a lot. So I think there's a lot of problems, and for the people that like 30 years of giving class, 30 years teaching, there's one time the teacher say, I can't do this anymore. Oh my God, I can't do this anymore. There's a lot of trouble I got here in my job. That's not right. I see I'm teacher and I something like a crazy guy on the internet is gaining like 30 times more than me. And I hear killing me for my job, killing me for my students. And for that, what I gained for this? Like little things.
They're really tired of that.
And really times. Really sorry. You can see that, for example, when we walk here in the school, you can see us staying here,
Yes.
here next to the cantina, and you can see how tired are the teachers and people. Like April is next day. We are now in March, and the teachers are and the teachers are really really tired, like me. I'm thankful that today's Friday.
Yes.
I'm thankful like, oh my God, thankful that's Friday. I can rest a little, think I can stay with my girlfriend a little. You can see for that, I can answer for that. But why we have like boring teachers? Because of that. They came to a time like I can't do this anymore. Because I don't have the respect. I don't have all the other things for the school. Why I'm going to do a good class if I don't gain necessary payments, if I don't have the necessary infrastructure? So how I can do a good job? I will do a bad job because this school give me bad things, and like this is a cycle, continues, and who gives all the bad things? Us, the teachers, and you, the students.
Will you leave the school?
No, for real, no. I think that's something of like teaching. That's something I will do all of my years. all of my years ago, I will teach it. But if I have the opportunity, like to go to a bigger school, I think I will go to a bigger school because we have the infrastructure, we have a lot more things to do, a lot more material, and that's something that's bad because we are here in a public school. Like the public school is the more important thing in the school here in Brazil. It's not a particular school, it's the public school because we have like I don't know 50 million students, and we have to give the better schooling at all. We have to do this, but we don't. Here in Brazil, we are in a country that sees the teacher and say like words like you don't travel, you don't. How can I say? Você não trabalha, you don't work, you are lazy, you deserve this. A lot of times I hear that. Because you choose to become a teacher. So we can see there's a lot of problems, and that's the cycling. Continues. Here, all the teachers you have here in the school wants to become here in the Chile Dorn, become the best school in Jundiaí. Like all of my students are going to the university, are going to the technical school, are getting a good job, are become a good person. And you can see there's something difficult we can get because a lot of troubles we have here, and for that.
Is there another profession that you would like to be instead of
I think journalist, football journalist. I think like commenting football, talking with football people. I really love football, so that's something I can do. But now, I like more teaching. I like more have the contact with my students, to have more contact with the people. I think that's a lot of good things. 2 years ago, I have like a football podcast with my friends. Like this stay for 1 year, I think, but we just do this for fun. We talk like a lot of shit for football, and that was nice. But that's just the stay 1 year, not more.
What is your football team?
Unfortunately, São Paulo. That's for all the Palmeirenses here. You are having a good time. You are choosing the right club. You need to stay Palmeirense. Because become a São Paulino is a very sad thing, okay?
I was gonna ask you about the favorite scene, but she asked it first, and I thought you were gonna say about something about French teams. You don't like them? No.
Like you can see, what is the biggest club in France? Paris Saint-Germain, and you can see that is a club. No, that is a project of the Qatar government.
Yeah,
so you can see this, and you can see like, wow, that's so sport washing. There's a lot of sport washing. I like billions and billions of euros like in this project, and I don't like it. I really hate PSG. So for me, that's a lot of problems here in French clubs. I like one French club, that's Olympique de Marseille, but they're not really good. So I just like the bad things, like São Paulo, Olympique de Marseille. In the American football, like there's a club that never wins. That's something I like. That's something I like.
But you like Neymar?
No, I don't know how can I say.
My
No,
God.
that's a problem with Neymar. I don't. There's something I see a lot in the American football. There's a journalist that speaks. I don't know how to say that in English. Like disponibilidade, amabilidade. Disponibility is ability, and you can see with Neymar that he have a lot of medical issues all of the years. It's not all, and there's something not only in the PSG. That's something that happens also in the national football team of Brazil.
Yes.
And that's something that are happening like in 5 years. In that 5 years, he had medical problems. So I don't like. I can see which type of players you like. Players can stay healthy. For example, if they can stay healthy, they're trained, they become good footballers. But when you see Neymar, when he had the injuries, they came here to Brazil to stay in the carnival. So I will see this, and I like you. I think you have another priorities than me. This is a football that I am a football fan. I can see like you have another priorities. So I think I will not like you. So I have problems with Neymar also.
Here in Brazil, you have any parts of Brazil that are like have French culture. Have you saw something like that?
How can I see? I think the grammar a little. Some French words like abajur, sutiã, there's something we have. But here in Brazil, there's no. I think there are some European cultures that are a lot more stronger here than French culture. Like for example, the German culture, the Italian culture, the Portuguese culture, of course. But because of why? Because of colonialism and because of migration. We have here, for example, we live here, Jundiaí. Here was like an Italian city.
Yes.
We had a lot of Italian people coming here to the coffee plantations to work. And for example, for this question of culture, I studied when I was young. I studied in a German school, the Colégio Visconde de Porto Seguro. That is a German school. I have for 4 times a week German class. That's something for here, the situation here in Brazil. That's something a lot of more natural have German class here in Brazil that have French class here. But why? Because we have a lot of Germans coming here to Brazil.
So
And-
you speak German.
And my German is so bad. I think I can say like two lines of German and the numbers. That's all. And I had like 7 years of German, and I can speak German. 7 years,
It's
like.
so hard to speak German.
Yes, that's really hard. And you can see an example. I have in 2 years my German teacher was Russian people. Well, she was Russian. So you can see a Russian giving German class in a Brazilian school. And in the meetings of the teachers and the parents, my dad, and he's French, talk to our Russian people so for the German class here in Brazil. There's so much mess, and I can see my dad and my German teacher speaking like, "Oh my God, that's so worse. This Portuguese is so worse. The worst thing I can hear." That was funny. This is funny. Oh boy, that's funny. That's a funny thing to see.
Yeah, and you were talking about the Italians here, and that's why it's important to study history to know why they were here. You know, like the Brazil is. I don't know how can I say.
The influence of Italy here.
There's
There's
a
some.
lot of influence here. The culture.
Yeah, that's something so important. You can understand why we have here in Jundiaí like how can I say a grape? Yes, this is grape. Like a grape party. Why we have this? Why we don't have here? I don't know, like a feijoada party. Because why we have a grape party? Because we have a lot of Italians. The city that I live, Vinhedo, was a how can I say a Italian colony. Part of Jundiaí, there was a lot of Italians. And why the city have the name of Vinhedo? Because there are a lot of grape plantations in Vinhedo. And for that, we have this now, the name is Vinhedo. There are a lot of Italians. When you enter Vinhedo, you have the Brazilian flag, São Paulo flag, Vinhedo flag, and the Italian flag.
Wow. Oh my God. Well, I have great time now. Thank you for being here today. It was really fun.
For me, also there was so much fun talking to you guys. Really, that's a really good thing.
And again, thank you for being our teacher in last year. It was really great.
I have to thank you that you are my student. I have to thank you also. You are so good people. That's a really nice thing.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Have a nice time.